Yo, what is good, everybody? It's S4Kicks here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a real versus fake of the Jordan 1 Lost and Found. Let's go ahead and check them out. Alright guys, so the left pair is going to be my rep pair from Rose. Information here on the screen if you want to check her out. Right is going to be the retail pair straight from Sneakers. First thing we're going to look at is the box. Now looking at these right now, they look pretty similar. But you will notice a difference right off the hand that putting them side by side, you'll see retail is about an inch longer in length than the rep pair. Moving on to the side of the box, I want you to pay attention to the sale tags here. Now placement, I believe, is different from box to box, so we can't really point that out. But you will see the edges, if you look really close, are more squared on the retail one and more rounded on the rep one. You'll also see that the color is more of a matte color, as in it's an older, more vintage, realistic looking. And this one is more of a shiny yellow, so it looks like they kind of just put it on there and it's a new sticker that hasn't had time to fade yet. Moving on to the receipts, left being the rep one, right being the retail. First thing that sticks out to me is the font is a little bit bolder on the rep one than the retail one. Unless side by side, it is hard to catch it, but that is something there. You can also look at the Sandy Bros. It is very close in color, don't get me wrong, but it is a slight shade off from the retail one. Much better than the other receipts I've seen, but still a little bit off. You can also see that the 8 right here is a little bit more smudged at the top little loop than right here. Obviously that is something super minor, but something that you can use to tell which one is real, which one is fake. You can also see the little edges around here. It's a little thinner here on the retail one and thicker on the rep one. Moving on to the vintage ad paper that comes in the box, right, once again retail, left being the rep pair. They are pretty spot on. They got that nice black and gray color. The only thing I will say is you can see right here, the lines on the rep one are a little thicker and more noticeable than the lines on the retail pair. Getting into the actual shoes, left being the rep pair, right being the retail. First thing we're gonna look at is the ankle collars and the little hit below the wings logos. So you'll see that it is pretty on point as far as cracking goes. Retail might be slightly more cracked than the rep pair, but it is definitely in the varying range of possibility. Retail varies a whole lot across the board, especially when you clean the mold off. Some are super cracked like this, some are not as cracked at all, but this is definitely on point. Next, we're gonna look at the wings logos. Embossed really nicely, pressed on, whatever you wanna say. They're placed correctly, pointing at the bottom lace hole, not the top lace hole, like we are used to on most of the Jordan 1s we see. Next, we're gonna check out the side panels. Again, this is something that definitely varies from pair to pair, rep and retail. The rep one you'll see has more of the aged cracked effect, and the retail is a little bit smoother and kind of hard to see the cracks unless you get really close. We'll also check out the red colors. Now some of the reps are a little too bit of a cherry red. This one, side by side, looks pretty on point in my opinion. Next, we're gonna check out the swooshes. The retail one on the right being slightly larger than the rep one on the left. Now since this is based off an older model Jordan 1, back then the swooshes were a little bit larger, so that is the reason why. Unless side by side, it is incredibly hard to tell though. Next, we'll check out the outsoles, left being the retail pair, right being the rep pair. You'll notice the aging effect, the moldy effect, is a little bit stronger on the right pair, the rep pair, than the left pair, the retail pair. Now this is something that varies, and if these aren't dead stock, it will be a little bit harder to tell. Moving on to the toe boxes, left pair here being retail, right pair here being rep. This is something that varies, and that is the cracking of the toe box leather. It is a little more crackled on this pair for the rep than the retail, but again, in variation, it is hard to tell. You'll also notice that the laces here on retail and rep both come with the black and then the white. A lot of the older batches were just the white and also added extra red laces. That is not the case for retail. Moving up to the tongues, the color on the retail pair here is a little more of a cream than the rep pair here on the right, and that is a little more of an peach orange kind of color. but very close, and unless you have it side by side, it will be hard to point out. Looking at the tongue tags here, you'll see they are both very close. They are the same red, it looks like, and the Nike Air swoosh and trademark symbols seem to be the same font. Coming over to the inside of the shoes, right being retail, left being replica. You'll notice the insoles are both white. They are mirrored because they're a left and right shoe, but they say Nike Air and the swoosh in the same red. Nothing you can really check there. You'll also notice that they came with white tissue paper in both toe boxes. That is correct. Some of the other reps come with a cardboard insert, which might be better than some of the stuffing, but as far as retail goes, that is incorrect. Same, you can see the laces. Like I said before, some of the laces of the old batches only came with white and black were in a baggie. That is incorrect. Retail has them tied up together like this, black and white. Coming over to the back side, right being retail, left being rep. A lot of the pairs, you'll get a rep that is slightly taller than the retail, much more than this. These actually look pretty spot on. They might be a centimeter or two in difference, but honestly, pretty close. Coming over to the medial side to finish it off, this time left being retail, right being replica. We already went over the ankle collars, we went over the swoosh sizes, we went over the color of the actual shoe and everything like that. Something that did change, you will notice here on the side panels, like I said, it does vary. This time retail is a lot more cracked than the other side was. As far as the rep goes, it is still pretty cracked compared to the retail, but like I said, it is definitely something that varies a whole lot. Alright, so for me personally, these are pretty solid. 1, they didn't come with any mold. 2, I'm excited to see if they get wet, if the red paint will run like all of the retail pairs have. Because honestly, that is a really scary sight to see and just a scary thought to have in your head. That if you wear those in the rain, they're just gonna be completely ruined. That sucks. Hopefully, this pair doesn't let me down like a lot of the retail pairs are for others. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Is the Jordan 1 Lost and Found your sneaker of the year 2022, or is there something else? Just like always, I really appreciate you guys coming over to this channel and hanging out for a bit. Till next time, I'm Dusty4Kicks. Peace.